In 2012, on the same day that Australia's first female Prime Minister did this,
I will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man. I will not.
her government passed into law a change to the parenting payment that plunged more than 80,000 single parents into poverty, 9 in 10 of them women.
I always thought the misogyny speech was a great party that I never got an invitation to. For women who needed the support and understanding and strength of leadership the most, they missed out.
That day, single mum Therese Edwards stood outside Parliament House and protested. The change meant payments across the board were cut off at the age of 8 instead of 16, pushing single parents onto the dole, leaving many up to $110 per week worse off.
There was often those rumbling tummies, and mothers would make those horrible decisions of skipping meals themselves or pretending that they were full.
This Labor government is now paying for that change, to the tune of $1.9 billion, announcing the payment will be extended until the youngest child turns 14.
Women, in particular, can have that sense of security, whereby they more easily move into employment.
Eligible parents will get an extra $176 a fortnight, a welcome boost for around 57,000 single parents.
I'm fielding phone calls and messages from women, making sure that it's actually real, that it's going to happen.
But the hike falls short of a key recommendation made by the government's Women's Equality Task Force, that the age be returned to 16.
A 14-year-old starts to move into that change into adulthood. We think we've got the balance right here.
We're ecstatic that it's no longer 8, but I will remain disappointed that we couldn't get to 16.
So will this reversal make up for a decade of policy-induced poverty?
Social Services Minister Amanda Rishworth joins us now. Minister, is this an admission that the Gillard government got it wrong 11 years ago?
Well, I think we've been really open as a government. This change started with John Howard's government and was continued on by the Gillard government. We've recognised the evidence is now in that we do need to provide support for longer for single parents. It helps not only with them balancing caring responsibilities along with looking for work, but also supports those parents to the most important job, and that is raising their children. So, look, we are making sure that that extra support is extended, and really what we're doing is strengthening the safety net here in Australia.
Minister, the cut-off, it used to be 16 and you've received a recommendation to change that age to 16. So why hasn't that been done? Why has 14 been the age that's been settled on?
Well, look, what we've recognised is that 8 is too young. 8, there is significant hands-on parenting that is required, and that's why we've extended it to 14. That is an age where parenting has evolved, and so there is an opportunity for children to be settled into high school, and that frees up parents to have more time to look for work. So we think we've got a good balance here when it comes to supporting parents as their child gets older, but finding a cut-off point where they are able and in a position to look for work.
I understand you think you got that balance, but the recommendation you received was 16. It's a bit like with the job seeker payment. The recommendation was that you would increase it across the board, and then you announced you would only increase it for over 55s. It seems like in both these cases, I don't know, it's like skim milk. You're not doing the full thing. Is there a reason for that?
Well, I would say absolutely not. This is a significant investment supporting many single-parent families.
Sure, but it's not the investment that was recommended. That's my point. In both cases, that's true.
Well, we get recommendations. We get recommendations all the time from a number of different organisations, a number of different groups, and we as the government have to look at what's within our means and what we're able to deliver. And on budget night, you will see a significant cost of living relief package that's responsible and targeted. This is the balance that we've struck. We think this will have a significant impact for that 57,000 parents, single single parents, predominantly women, and we think this is a really important measure.
Thanks for taking us to that $14.6 billion cost of living package, which will be announced tomorrow night. You claim that won't add to inflation. How is that possible? What sort of economic theory gets you to that point?
Well, of course, we have looked at where people are doing it most tough, where people are finding it difficult with the cost of energy, for example. And what we've done, and you'll see more details tomorrow night, a carefully designed package which, with all Treasury estimates, will not add to inflation. This has been a really important consideration of the government. In our first budget in October, we banked many of the revenue increases on to pay down the debt that the government has, and this budget will be as responsible. It will look at budget repair, but also support those that need that extra support, particularly around, for example, energy costs.
We've got an eye-watering debt, as you just mentioned there, so where is this extra revenue coming from? We know there's been some more money flowing into the budget, but does this mean we're going to see tax increases tomorrow night?
Well, look, you will see everything in the budget, but as we saw, there were increased revenue in the October budget. We banked that revenue. We have had to take a responsible approach in terms of spending, and the Treasurer has outlined that a significant number of programs have been reprioritised. So we are going line by line through the budget, looking at waste and removing that waste, but also taking responsible action. And I think tomorrow night you'll see a bit more of that as well.
What a preview. It's going to be great. Minister, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
One more sleep.